This is Rapa Nui, better known as Easter Island. It is a 163 square kilometer volcanic rock in the middle of the southeastern Pacific, 3,700 kilometers from the Chilean coast and 2,000 kilometers from the nearest inhabited land. It has no fresh surface water and poor soil. Around 1200 AD, a small group of Polynesian seafarers found it anyway. They crossed thousands of miles of open ocean in canoes, navigating by reading the stars, the winds, and the waves, with a precision that modern GPS users struggle to replicate. They didn't just survive on this remote outpost, they stayed for centuries, building one of the most architecturally ambitious cultures in the Pacific. Establishing a permanent society here required a level of navigational and agricultural competence that few other civilizations could match. Their most visible legacy is the moai, hundreds of enormous stone statues weighing an average of 14 tons. They were carved from volcanic rock and moved across the island to stand on stone platforms called ahu, facing inland to watch over the living descendants of the carvers. The most famous explanation for what happened next suggests the Rapa Nui destroyed themselves. In his 2005 book Collapse, Jared Diamond argued the islanders cut down every tree to move these statues, exhausting their soil and starving their own population before Europeans ever arrived. This interpretation transformed the island into a global parable about resource overuse and the inevitability of ecological suicide. New scientific evidence tells a different story. While humans cleared land for farming, the Polynesian rats they brought with them immediately began eating the seeds and nuts of the native palms, preventing the forest from regenerating. A 2024 study mapped the island's rock gardens. They covered only 1% of the land, a footprint capable of feeding a stable population of just 3,000 to 4,000 people, not the tens of thousands earlier theories required. The Rapa Nui were a small, stable society that lived successfully within the limited means of their environment for half a millennium. Genetic analysis confirms this stability. A 2024 study of Rapa Nui genomes from the 13th century through to European contact found no evidence of a pre-contact genetic bottleneck. Instead of a society in freefall, the DMA shows a population that was growing steadily. The moai themselves serve as evidence of this stability. 2019 data shows the statues were deliberately positioned near critical freshwater sources, acting as markers for the island's most essential resource. Even the way they moved the statues was sustainable. By using ropes to pull the head and torso alternately left and right, small teams literally walked the statues upright. This confirms Rapa Nui oral traditions that researchers had dismissed as metaphor for decades. These statues were highly functional monuments, built and transported through a system of cooperative engineering that prioritized long-term survival. When Dutch explorers arrived in 1722, they found a vibrant, functioning culture still building moai. The arrival of European ships introduced immediate violence and foreign diseases to a population with no immunity. The situation turned catastrophic in the 1860s, when Peruvian slave raiders abducted 1,500 people, including the island's entire social and religious leadership, to work in guano mines. This graph shows the final outcome. Between the slave raids and the smallpox epidemics brought back by the few survivors, the Rapa Nui population plummeted to approximately 100 people by the early 1870s. External forces and the global slave trade violently dismantled the Rapa Nui society, imposing a collapse from the outside. The archaeological truth reveals a civilization that found one of the most difficult places on Earth, settled it, and maintained a sustainable relationship with its limited resources for 500 years. Easter Island stands as a testament to human resilience, a civilization that thrived until it encountered a world that refused to extend them basic dignity. Next time, August 15, 1977. An astronomer detects a signal from deep space, so anomalous he circles it and writes one word: wow. It has never been explained.